Testing, testing, with a roll up in me mouth, testing. Oh man, certainly can't think of anything kebab worthy to watch on a projector. We're having a bit of a lull at the moment. Not a lull, lull, L-U-L. Possibly another L on the end. I don't know. Been a long time since I had my spelling corrected. Apart from Google Chrome. But what I do have, amazingly, is all the footage for another spectacular. Yeah, I don't think we're going to insert any, sound samples of people applauding. Although I do have that somewhere. I believe it's from the live, what the fuck is the word, mate? Anyway, Orbital playing live. The live playing doesn't sound right. Of Doctor Who, particular one. So, but really, for pushing the boat out and getting this done for either late tonight, yeah, I'll do it for late tonight. Most people are up late on a Saturday, not because there's fuck all on the TV to watch. But anyway, it's going to be a real professional look. Not really, it's not going to be professional in any way. At Star Raiders 2. We're looking at it on 5 different machines, virtually. But I managed to find the footage for, the 3 that were missing in the folder. I'd already played them. So we're gonna start off with the Atari version. Now the Atari version was supposed to be called The Last Starfighter, and it was supposed to kind of be a movie tie-in, and that all fell through. So then it became Star Raiders 2. Maybe they couldn't agree on a price. Which means you won't get this intro, which is why we're going to be looking at this intro now. So, really nice colours on this. Very blocky, but it's really nice. I like it. It's got that kind of flat shaded look that you used to get on, on the 3D movies back then. Let's see that again, I think, after this. Here we go. This game is really about all the sound effects and the shading. It's a really satisfying blast. There's no doubt about this is one of the most satisfying to play shoot 'em ups. It's like describing the manual gearbox on 2 completely different cars. Completely at random, like the Mark II Vauxhall Cavalier SRI hatchback in white versus the similar era BMW 325i. So basically you have to clear areas. So it is kind of like the original one, which I had on the VCS. You can meet them over planet surfaces or in space, but you have to basically confront the enemy squadrons and destroy them before they get to your bases. So there is strategy involved. Now the reason you can only see half the shots and half the gun sights is because the emulator did not double buffer the 50 frames per second output down to 25. So on the Atari they're using like one sprite to do two things and they just alternate. So the even scan lines and the odd scan lines use the same sprite doing the left and right hand side. So you get to do the Mothership. The Mothership is very tricky. But the graphics are great on this game and so is the sound. Everything about this game is great. This would be the kind of game back in 84, 85 you'd go out to the shops to buy a 28-inch CRT TV with nice speakers as well. So it's a good game and they've made it the best it could possibly be as well. So you travel around the solar system and that's kind of never ending in that way because you'll never, I don't think you'll ever totally defeat them. But the effect on the ground is really good. I mean, when taken, you know, in its entirety, when you put all the pieces together, this is one hell of a great Atari game. You know, if you've got a real Atari, you know, 800, 800 XL, XE, you should have this game. You really should. It's just, I think it's of its time. I would have loved a game like this on the C64. And there is actually a conversion for the C64 by Electric Dreams. So this is the Spectrum version now. So you know what, I'm actually quite impressed. They've used colour where it matters. So you know, the red Kodan ships you can see straight away. So obviously you've got to shoot them. Obviously. Now if I'd stop going left and right for a second, you would probably see that it's doing the scaling effect on the planet's surface the same way it does on the Atari. Okay, so it's only in blue and green. Doesn't really matter. The effect works. The top bit is very colourful and I think this is an admirable job. Now this is the 48K Spectrum, so it's just the beeper sound, obviously. Well, it's no worse than any other game really. I actually think the explosions are quite good. Now you have to bear in mind I'm playing all these games back on a 120-inch image roughly on the wall using my projector, because that's what Mad Commodore loves in its diet. A bit like me and the old kebabs. Luckily kebabs in the West Midlands are all shit. Man, they should fucking they should have some London people migrate up here. And specifically I mean fucking Cypriots, mate, who know what they're doing in the kebab industry. So I'm standing here, well, sitting here with a can of Coke, empty, flicking my fag ash from my roll up in there. So clearly this is a full professional review. I could be sitting in front of a £20,000 edit station. If it was my company I'd still be doing the same thing. So okay, maybe the Starfield is dropping some of the frames going on. But honestly, when you're playing the game, you don't really notice that. You just notice that there is stars in the background. You know? It is a tricky game. It plays very much like the Atari version. And everything I think has been done very well for the Spectrum. So here we go with the old Mothership now. which kind of looks like the funny robot type metallic creatures in the Smash instant mashed potato, that's a brand, adverts that used to be on in the late 70s. You know what, I want this game for the Spectrum, and there is no higher accolade than that. If I don't have this game for the Spectrum, and I doubt I do, I want it. I hope there was like many releases. So I think we missed a version here. So obviously I've just had a go and made sure I configured all the controls. It was tricky remembering everything. No, I should let the tune play. You Wally Mad Commodore. Now whatever channel this is on, i.e. Retrotonic or Mad Commodore, doesn't really matter actually, because I own both channels. So it's got the whooshing different engine sounds, which does add to the gameplay, it helps you. Everything else is very similar. Obviously the CPC doesn't have the same sort of number of shades for each colour as the Atari computers, but it is very fast and the effect is there. You know, it gets blockier as it comes down the screen. The game itself is actually just as fast, more or less. There may be a slight difference, but you certainly wouldn't notice it playing it. Now if your mate had an Atari and you love playing it on there, but you wanted to play it at home as well, you know, like after you finish your homework, nothing wrong with that, and you had an Amstrad at home or a Spectrum, you should get this game for it. You should have got this game for it, but you probably wouldn't have known about it because it's something that more Atari owners would know about, because originally it's an Atari soft release and then all the conversions by Electric Dreams aka Activision, and then, you know, that's their thing, innit? I can't think of anything else they've done from Atari Soft for the other big three computers. Don't think it's come out on the MSX. If it come out, it would have been the UK, which means it would have been a Spectrum port job. So we've done the MSX version too. They probably should have gone with shades of turquoise or something for the moon, because famously the Amstrad has 5 shades of turquoise and 3 shades of grey, if you include black and white in those calculations, which you should, because that's how you do it on the C64. I have no idea. So some of the palette colours are like, you know, but you know what, this would be a great game to play on the green screen monitor. I did really enjoy playing this, I have to tell you. Now, so at the moment we're kind of at the main Meister levels for our comparisons, because I'm using emulators. Ideally I would like to get to the Shadow's Nose position, because he does his multi-format reviews all on real hardware. He's never used emulators. So when he got a Spectrum, you know, he had the little sticker on his intro saying now we've added Spectrum or something like that, in the little star shaped things, you know, the cardboard star shapes in the luminous colours you used to have in the you know, the newsagent window. Pepsi, only 10p. They never had a special offer on Coca-Cola, mate. Anyway, should probably have been having a kebab and a cola while doing this, not just a fag. Yeah, I apologise, that would have been full professional quality. How lazy of me. There's nothing wrong with doing the reviews this way, as long as you do everything on one or the other and use identical controls. So if it's all on keyboard, use a keyboard for all of them. Now you can then make allowances for how much better it look on a CRT, and you know, using a zip stick or the original control pads, things like that. I play Atari 7800 games with you know, zip stick. But no, this is a great version, I have to say. And if you had a green screen monitor as well as like the TV modulator, your quid's in, mate. It's great. Look at them fucking fonts for a start. So that's a C64 cock-up, which they think is a conversion. Oh boy, did the Atari kids laugh at you when they saw this version. And that font there looked like something, you know, the bubble letters that the cute girls in your classroom did on the front of their notepads. I couldn't do that font. What the fuck has that got to do with sci-fi? Now what's going on with that effect there? It's like some rubbish vertical copper splits on the fucking Auric 1. I know you don't need a copper chip to do a copper split. So everything moves around in very kind of rigid horizontal and vertical movements before changing direction. Everything about this game is shit. Except for the top panel. The top panel in grey there. That don't look too bad, you know. But there is a way to do, you know, the effect on the bottom there for the planet surface in you know, character mode, multicolour character mode, which would be really fast, so you could have replicated it. And some raster splits for the colour changes, so you know, you're talking about manipulating a third of, or even a quarter, maybe 256 bytes. You could do it once every 25 frames per second, it wouldn't matter. Shit, fucking horrible. Now here we have something called Final Battle. I think it's Final Battle. Sorry, Final Orbit on the VIC-20. It's a blatant rip-off. Maybe not quite as advanced, but if you make Atari and you had a VIC-20, which would have been a case actually. I had a VIC-20 after, you know, one of my old school friends had Atari 800, or two of them actually. I knew two people, early 82, late 81. Now this just shows what a wank fest the C64 version is, because this is better than the C64 version. I'd be quite happy if this was ported as is to the C64. It's been better than what we've got officially. So once again, just proves all this copyright, it's got to be an official licensed version. That was just a disease that infected the home computer games industry. An absolute disease. On the consoles, where that's not going to happen anyway, because it costs so much to do the cartridge games. Yeah, but on the home computers they shouldn't have, nah, it shouldn't apply, mate. This is great. So this was for VIC-20 plus 8K expansion, I believe. I'll just check that. I'm not sure actually. No, I don't say in the file name. Oh, it's really nice actually. Now, Star Raiders on the Spectrum was 48k. It wasn't a 16/48k game. So you can't really compare this with what was released for the Spectrum, because memory, it might be because it's like a limited like memory game that you only get. You only basically get the shoot 'em up for you know, Kodan squadron shooting section of the game. There's none of the other elements. It's literally just that. But compared to other VIC-20 games, it's actually really good. It's colourful. They've done a great attempt at the you know, the fading colours for the atmosphere around the planet surface. Got scrolling stars in the background, and they're smooth scrolling as well. Even the things moving around the screen are scrolling smoothly. They're not moving in just character blocks. Because characters are huge on the VIC-20. Hope you enjoyed that one.